भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Good evening. We are experiencing the heat of May in the month of April itself. So summer is going to be unusually hot this year. It appears like that. Right, the meaning of the prayer that we have said, the first prayer, is given in your prayer book on page number 11. I've taken up only the third and fourth stanzas on page number 10. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, may all be happy. Sarve santu niramayah, may all be free from disease. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, may all realize what is good. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, may none be subject to misery. So this is a very, very ancient prayer. We have been chanting it here in this culture for millennia. కొన్ని శతాబ్దాలుగా మనం ఈ ప్రార్థనని ఈ జాగ్రఫీలో ఈ భూమి మీద మనం భారత భూమి మీద చేస్తున్నాం. If you look at this world, there is so much of suffering. Okay? As Vivekananda would say, the best way to help yourself is to help others. But how much help we can render to others, how much help we can do to others, we ourselves are seeking help from others. How much is your capacity? When the world is too big for us to help the world and to reduce the suffering of the people. So the best way, the greatest way that you can help the world is invoke the blessings of the Lord upon all. How you do that? మనం ఎంతమందికి సహాయం చేస్తాం, మన కెపాసిటీ ఎంత? వీఆర్ నాట్ ఇన్ ఏ పొజిషన్ టు హెల్ప్ దిస్ వరల్డ్. Billionaires have donated billions and dollars, okay, to reduce the suffering in the world, to alleviate the suffering of people, to mitigate the suffering in the world. Have they become successful? What they have found after donating some money is just like a drop in the ocean. Suffering is so huge, the number of people who are seeking help is so big, and our capacity and resources to help them is so little. So they also feel helpless at one point of time. So the greatest way to help the society is only God can help. But you can invoke the blessings of the Lord upon others. Okay, last time I told you the incident in Swami Vivekananda's life where one day he was weeping in his room at the dead of the night. మధ్యరాత్రి ఆయన రూమ్లో ఆయన ఏడుస్తున్నాడు. There was another sannyasi next to his room. He came out of his room and knocked at Vivekananda's door and asked Vivekananda, "What happened, brother? Why are you weeping? Are you not keeping well? Are you not keeping good health?" Then you know what Swamiji said? "No, brother. When I remember the sufferings of the people, I don't get sleep. My heart aches. So my his helplessness frustrated him. And then he was praying to his Guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, you help the people. You help the world. You reduce the suffering and misery in the world. I have not become successful in reducing the misery of the people." So he was praying to the Lord. He was praying helplessly. You just be kind to people. You just be kind to beings. In the same way, we all can do that. But for that, you have to have a sensitive heart which feels for the sufferings of others. Manaki sunnita hridayam undali. A tender heart, a soft heart, which actually experiences the feeling, experiences the suffering and misery of others. When you have that, you understand that you don't have the means to reduce the suffering. Then you just pray to God. If your prayer is from the bottom of the heart, it reaches God. Because you're not doing it for yourself after all. మీకోసం మీరు ప్రార్థన చేసుకోవట్లేదు. You are praying for the sake of the world. You are praying for the sake of others. If your prayer is unselfish, it reaches God. అది నిస్వార్థ ప్రార్థన అయితే అది భగవంతుడు చేరుతుంది. If the prayer comes from lips, it doesn't reach God. If it is from the bottom of the heart, it reaches God. And then God will help millions of people. It is in His power. You have said the prayer. God has come to the rescue of millions of people. అది భగవంతుడికి ఒక్కడికే తెలుస్తుంది, ప్రపంచానికి తెలియదు. మీ నిస్వార్థ ప్రార్థన వలన కొన్ని లక్షల మందికి ప్రయోజనం జరిగింది. Because of the unselfish prayer that you have done, you have said, God has helped millions and millions of people. That we all can do, that we are all capable of. But for that, as I have said now, we need to have a tender and soft heart which feels and experiences the suffering and misery of others. You know, all great people will have this kind of very kind and compassionate heart. They will be moved and touched deeply by the suffering of others. So then they call upon the Lord, and they invoke the blessings of the Lord upon others. If you have not created this world, the world is too big a place. Right? మనమే సహాయాన్ని అర్థిస్తున్నాం పక్కన వాళ్ళ నుంచి, ఎవరు సహాయం చేస్తారని. There are very few people who have the capacity to help others. And even they also find in no time that their capacity is very limited. So you can help. Money is not required. Material things are not required. Only this much. You just pray for the well-being of all in the world. Okay, this is universal prayer. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. May none be subject to misery. Sarve santu niramaya. May none get any disease or illness. So much of illness and sickness you see in the world, physical and psychological, for various reasons. Your hospitals ku pondi, any hospital you go, they're all bursting at the seams today. And in addition to that, not just physical suffering, psychological suffering, mental suffering. How much of counseling, how many counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists are doing the job, but still they find it insufficient. At the physical level there is sickness, at the psychological level there is sickness. And to help the people to come out of that, you just pray to God, the omnipotent Lord who created this universe. Because you know, in our culture, when we define God, we say three visheshanas, or adjectives we use. He is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Omnipresent means he is everywhere there. Omnipotent means he is all powerful, supremely powerful. Omniscient means he is all knowing. You and we have little knowledge. But God has absolute knowledge. He is omniscient. He is all-knowing. The omnipotent, all-powerful. The omnipresent is everywhere there. So that Lord actually, when you invoke the blessings upon others, supreme benefit will happen. Supreme good will happen to the society and the world. But that we need to have a heart which is sensitive, kind, and we should say our prayer from the bottom of the heart. All of us actually just reflect for some time every day and the quantum of suffering that exists in the world. Anni hospitals nu okasari gurtuloki techukondi. All the cancer patients, all the heart patients, just that are there in this world, remember them for a time. Use your faculty of imagination. Experience their suffering for some period of time. There are so many problems, psychological, financial, right? So then actually you pray to God, oh Lord, give them some peace, help them, give them some strength, give them succor and solace. You just pray. Every day you do this. It will benefit you also immensely. Because the prayer that you have said is an unselfish prayer. It expands your consciousness. Vivekananda would say expansion is life, contraction is death. All the time we're living for ourselves. No, you expand your heart. There is that capacity in you. The greater the expansion, the easier for you to come to closer to God. That's why Swamiji gives a definition for God. Unselfishness is God. Nisvartame Devudantu. If somebody is extremely unselfish, he or she is God, herself or himself. God's manifestation, expression, God's emblem they are here on this earth. Somebody who is extremely unselfish. పూర్తిగా నిస్వార్థపరుడైనటువంటి వ్యక్తి దేవుడి యొక్క స్వరూపం అవుతాడు. He or she becomes the form of God. So for that actually, prayer everyone can say, right? So people say, what can I help? I don't have so many resources. How can I help the society in world? Yes, you can help. Pray, ప్రార్థన చేయండి లోకం కోసం, లోక కళ్యాణం కోసం. Okay? Thank you. Nice evening.